We recently spent 8 nights at the Blue Lagoon Resort in Kos and visited at the end of August 2024. It was our first holiday as a family of 6. Our children's ages are 18, 9, 3 and 1. In this review, I'll share our experience at the resort, from the accommodation and facilities to the dining and service. I've also added our tips throughout the video, so be sure to watch it all the way through to the end. And finally, if you want to see more of the resort, be sure to check out our walkthrough video. We booked our holiday through TUI. Their website was at times a little slow, but the staff on the phone were super helpful and nice, so no issues there. Our first impressions of the hotel were good. Upon arrival, the hotel staff greeted us warmly, and as we were late arriving due to a delayed flight, we were shown where to leave our bags and told to go get dinner before it closed and then check in after eating. This was really appreciated, given we had our 4 children with us, and showed awareness and empathy that people had been travelling all day and needed food. So, as first impressions go, we were left confident that we would be well looked after during our stay. After eating, check-in was quick and efficient. The reception staff were professional and explained everything clearly, also giving us sheets with all the information we needed in case we hadn't taken it all in after a long day. As the site is so large, they instruct you to take your luggage and go out to the front where a golf caddy style cart picks you up, and the hotel staff take you to your room and help you with your stuff. These carts run 24/7 and you can phone reception to have them pick you up from your room or take you anywhere on site. Our TUI representative then hosted a brief meeting that night to explain everything, or gave you the option for the following morning. We opted for the latter as we were all tired the night of the arrival. The TUI meeting helped to further explain the hotel's facilities, gave you a few tips about the area, and to let you know what other activities they had on offer that you could pay for, like day trips and boat trips, etc. We booked a 2-bedroom family room with garden view and balcony. We were located here on the site map, which was actually really good as it was within walking distance to everything that we wanted access to. We actually didn't use the golf caddies the entire time we were there as we were so central. Rooms are opened by cards, which by the way kept malfunctioning, so you had to keep going to reception to get them fixed. They said to keep them away from our phones, and I'm pretty sure we were, so not ideal. Get 3 to make life easier, and definitely keep them away from your phones. Anyway, as you come in, you have a bathroom with a bath and a shower, basin and a toilet. Nothing fancy, but it did the job. You can't put loo roll etc. down the loo, and you have to use the bin provided, which is emptied daily. This took some getting used to, and we all found it rather odd, but I'm sure it's something to do with the processing of waste, given it's a fairly small island. There were 2 large wardrobes provided with a safe inside. The main room had 3 single beds with units on the opposite side to put your stuff. Through to the second room, you have another 2 single beds and more units to put your stuff away. Inside the room, you had a mini fridge which had some water bottles upon arrival, but they didn't get replaced, but there are plenty of places to fill up your bottles on site. Both rooms had aircon units and sliding doors to access the same balcony. Our balcony overlooked the spa and the outdoor tent area. One thing I would say is that we could have done with a bit more storage. As you can expect, a family of 6 comes with a lot of stuff, and although the 2 large wardrobes were provided, much of the kids' stuff didn't fit on the hangers, so it was a lot of unusable space that could have been made more useful by adding in shelves or drawers. We made the best of the space by bringing packing cases which were put into the bottom of the wardrobes to try and maintain some order. But as you can see from the video, it was difficult to keep any proper order with such a lack of storage options. That said, the cleanliness and upkeep of the room was really good. They came around daily and provided fresh towels along with cleaning and tidying our room to a really good standard, and the ladies were really nice and made a big fuss of all the kids, so super happy with that. They give you a small bar of soap to wash your hands and really small tubes of shower gel and conditioner. So our tip is to bring your own hand wash and shower gel. Even though they replaced them, it was annoying feeling like we were running out and had to ask for more. So we ended up buying bits from the supermarket. The beds themselves were pretty comfy to sleep on. We didn't have any complaints there. However, as I'm quite a big guy, I needed 2 pillows, which they had extra in the top of the wardrobe. Our main issue was with the aircon, where we all started to get a bit of a cough a few days in, and whereas I don't normally snore, during our stay I snored most nights. One morning I even woke up with my throat pretty swollen. To be fair though, I think this is just part of having aircon and nothing actually wrong with their units. We could have slept with the patio doors open instead of aircon, as there is a bug screen that you can pull across. However, as we had 2 toddlers with us, we didn't feel this was a safe option for us. So yeah, overall, the rooms were nothing special, but they were super clean and functional, and they were fit for purpose. Also, just to note, we felt the entire site was really well maintained and clean, with a lot of handymen and gardeners, etc. constantly working around the site. With so many facilities on site, I'm only going to review the ones that we used or saw and exclude the ones that we didn't. There are 6 pools in total. 2 are specifically for children, 2 exclusively for adults, and a mini water park. We'd recommend checking them all out. Firstly, you get given towel cards and you have to exchange them near reception to get your towels. When you want fresh towels, you bring them back and exchange them again. At first, someone told us that you had to return them every day before 6 PM and pick them up again each morning, but this isn't the case. We just replaced ours every couple of days at non-peak times and were able to walk straight in. This is the huge main pool that comes with whirlpool baths and water jets. This pool was one of the main reasons why I wanted to stay here. It also has a crepe station, and there are plenty of places around the pool to get your drinks from. This pool is the one where you have to claim your sunbed spots early in the morning. The hotel say not to place towels etc, as they'll remove them, but in fairness to them, it's time consuming to manage, so they didn't do this when we stayed, and you do have to go claim your spot early in the morning, but you do get a spot daily. We found you didn't have to do this for anywhere else. They also host water-based exercise classes here and games. We watched a video review before going that said that this pool was quite cold. The reviewer went May time, but this was not our experience, and all our children spent hours in this pool without going blue. I guess this is all dependent on the time of year you visit. Then there is a mini water park, which is really good for children of all ages. It firstly had a splash area with a refilling water bucket that spills out when full, and 3 slides surrounded by a lazy river. Then there is the shallow pool for little children with a smaller version of the bucket along with 3 water features. Our toddlers spent a lot of time in this pool, building up their confidence in the water as it had a water height of 30 centimetres. Finally, there are 4 thrill slides for bigger kids and adults. Restrictions apply to these slides, and little ones need to be a minimum of 10 years or at least 120 centimetres tall to use them. We were always able to easily get sunbeds in this area regardless of what time of day we went down there. There is also a poolside snack bar, a bar and crepe station here, which is really good, so take advantage of that. This area has a pirate ship and a big mushroom with 3 small slides. It also has a bar serving drinks and ice cream with plenty of sunbeds around too. We'd say this area is best for children aged 3 to 8 as the pools are slightly deeper at around 60 centimetres and the slides were quite fast, so perhaps not great for toddlers and babies. This area had a little boat and 2 slides with a small park and another bar serving drinks and ice cream. We'd say this area is best for babies and toddlers. It was a lot quieter here as it was away from the main site. Our toddlers spent ages here and quickly grew in confidence, allowing them to feel more independent in the pool rather than having to cling to us adults or rely on flotation devices. The remaining 3 pools we didn't use, but if you're after peace and quiet, there's an outdoor triangular pool that's adults only, as well as an indoor pool inside the adult only spa, which also has a jacuzzi. Finally, the satellite pool is a small pool in the quieter area, so if you want a more chilled out vibe, check that one out. There is a private beach just a short walk away. Sunbeds are €5 a day for a set of 2 sunbeds and 1 umbrella. There is a small bar for your drinks, and the beach itself wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad either. It starts sandy, then goes really pebbly, but as you go out to sea, becomes sandy again. There's a floating jetty to be able to walk over and skip the pebbles, but it's not for the faint-hearted as it rides the waves, so you need to be steady on your feet. We went fairly late in the day, around 4 PM, and it wasn't busy. It's worth spending time here, and the sunsets were really beautiful. This is where we chose to have breakfast every day, although the Nissos restaurant pretty much did the same. We did have dinner there on the first night and a few lunches too. It's a pretty chilled area. The seating areas are spread out and are outside but undercover. It's a buffet style where you just go and get whatever food you want. Absolutely loads to choose from. Whatever you could think of to serve for breakfast, they had. Our kids' favourite were the fried eggs, fruit, pancakes and Greek yogurt. We had lunch here most days as our kids enjoyed the food here the best, and to be honest, I really enjoyed the food too. Their pork and chicken gyros were really nice. The kids really liked the fish fingers and the chips mostly, but the pasta carbonara was also a hit. They also served the best crepes here and had Mr. Whippy ice cream, which our toddlers covered themselves in daily. This is where we had dinner every night. They had themed nights 3 times a week, Mediterranean, Oriental and Mexican, and it feels more like a restaurant. They have a salad and soup selection, a central island with about 8 to 10 different dishes and accompaniments. They also had an open grill with chefs cooking that evening's meat selection and a pasta section with various pasta sauces to choose from. There was always a great selection of fruits and puddings, including various mousses, cakes and my partner's favourite, baklava. They also had a specific kids section that was at a lowered height so children could easily see what was on offer and pick their food. Our 3-year-old especially enjoyed this independence and we thought that it was a really nice touch to tailor it for the children. The food selection for children was pretty standard: fish fingers or nuggets, 1 type of veg and 3 carb options along with an optional tomato pasta sauce. Bear in mind their ketchup isn't like British ketchup, so if your kids or you are ketchup snobs like our kids, you might be dissatisfied with the ketchup provided. Our 9-year-old didn't like the ketchup, so we ended up buying some Heinz ketchup from a local store to bring to meals with us. The things you do for your kids, right? Finally, the alcohol. I didn't drink much this holiday, however I did have a few drinks. The ones included in the all-inclusive were okay, what I expected. They're not going to be the better quality alcohols like Grey Goose vodka, Jack Daniels and Patron tequila. For those, you had to pay extra. I was told the beer was like 2% and I'm not a massive beer drinker, but I really enjoyed it and it was light and refreshing. I did have 4 in a row and didn't feel tipsy at all, so probably confirms it wasn't a strong beer. But the Long Island iced tea that I had though was strong. There is a large open-sided tent area with a fairground-style punching machine, table tennis, 2 pool tables and 2 air hockey tables. It's nothing special, however our 9-year-old son had never played pool before, so he really enjoyed learning how to play and also enjoyed having a go on the punching machine, which you can also kick. You have to pay to use everything apart from the table tennis, which you have to pay a refundable deposit to get the rackets and balls. There are only 2 sets of rackets and balls to hire, so it's not always available. To mitigate this, our advice would be to bring your own ball and racket from home if you want to just crack on. We only went in here to exchange notes for coins and to go to the loo. However, there is another pool table in here and quite a few machines to go on. Again, you have to pay to use them. We didn't use these, but it's worth showing you them as they're available to use. As you start walking down to the mini water park, the first thing you see is a 5-a-side football pitch. Then there are 2 tennis courts followed by a basketball court. Over the back area you have a mini golf and a paddle court, as well as a beach volleyball court. They have a fairly large shop on site, however nothing is priced and prices are expensive. Friends we made paid €30 for a plastic beach truck and a bucket and spade set to put it into perspective. So our advice is to go to Maria's supermarket first as the prices are more reasonable. It's a short walk away. Instead of crossing the road to go over to the beach, take a right and walk straight and you'll eventually come across it in a 5 to 10 minute walk. I just want to make the observation, after also reading reviews about this shop, that on our first visit it felt a little uncomfortable as the staff watched you like a hawk, so it felt quite hostile. Presumably they had issues in the past with shoplifting, and given they are a small independent supermarket, I'm sure their margins are quite tight. However, the second time I went there searching for Imodium after getting a dodgy tummy, I'm lactose intolerant and probably had too much milk, they didn't have any, but the lady who previously served me was super helpful and friendly in assisting me to find the most appropriate alternative medicine. She even gave me 10 cents off due to not having the exact change. So yeah, we weren't put off and I wanted to mention that in their defence. Located next to the Messageus restaurant, you'll find entertainment in the evening starting with the kids disco and family game shows and bingo, followed by the adult shows and live music. Not our thing personally, so we didn't go to them. The service throughout the resort was fantastic. Staff members were always polite, friendly, attentive and willing to help, whether it was at the restaurant, pool or during housekeeping. All of the staff spoke excellent English, which made communication very easy. We have to give special mention to Drini, the manager of the Nissos restaurant, who always greeted us warmly and took a fondness for our youngest, which was really sweet. Also to Johnny, one of the waiters, who looked after us so well, bringing us drink after drink without asking. And finally Alex, another waiter there, who interacted and played with our 9-year-old son and made him feel special. In addition, one of the golf caddy drivers who took us to our rooms on the first night remembered our children's names and would call out to them on the remainder of our stay whenever he passed them by. The cleaning staff who let our partner and our 3-year-old into our room when our toddler was desperate for the loo and the key card wasn't working. The lady at the water park bar who took time to take our toddler's order so that she could order it herself, and so many other positive interactions that we had. The staff had a really hospitable attitude, and it made our stay so much more enjoyable knowing that everyone met us and our children with a smile. We couldn't fault them. With every meal, there was a wide selection of food to choose from, which was good. However, there are obvious differences in how some things taste in comparison to back home, which is to be expected, such as sausages tasting different, beef burgers, the fish fingers were more like fish cake fingers, etc. Initially, this really put off our son in particular. That said, we all easily found a lot of things that we like to eat each meal, which tasted great. Especially the food cooked and served fresh by the chefs at the open kitchen, such as fried eggs, pancakes and various types of meat at dinner, like barbecue pork, ribs and calamari, etc. Obviously, the challenge with buffet style food is you can cook dishes perfectly, but because they sit there under hot plates to keep them warm, they continue to cook somewhat. So for example, the food on the middle islands, such as the cuttlefish, was overcooked and chewy, but other than cooking it fresh, it can't really be avoided as it's quite a delicate food item to cook well. That said, dishes are replenished regularly, so it's not just sat there for hours. But yes, to eat optimally, you need to either get there at opening, only take certain foods when a fresh dish is brought out, or avoid them altogether. They also had different dietary options such as vegan dishes. Ice cream was on tap for the kids and us, and they had loads of fruit available too. Also, drink machines were available to help yourselves to orange and apple juices and water, etc., along with wine and coffee machines. If you like a good coffee though, I must admit the coffee isn't great. It's pretty standard at best, but it probably did me some good having a caffeine detox anyway. The good thing about an all-you-can-eat buffet is that you can try everything, and if you don't like it, it's not a problem. This meant all of our children tried new things, and our 1-year-old in particular tried many different dishes, and even our fussy 3-year-old ate some Greek chicken kebabs on skewers and asked for seconds. Overall, we rated the entire culinary experience a 7 out of 10 due to the wide variety available each meal. The island itself is not very big, so you can easily get from one end to the other quickly. That said, be aware there aren't many taxis available, so it can be difficult getting one, but they're not too expensive. The bus runs every hour or two, but can be late and busy. However, it's very cheap at €2 per adult. Hiring a car or quad bike, etc. is easy if you're comfortable with that, and reasonably priced at €30 to €50 per day. Your final option is to book travel experiences with your travel provider, TUI for us as an example. The resort is just a short drive from Kos Town, which is well worth checking out as it has a mixture of bars and restaurants to visit, do a bit of shopping and sightseeing, etc. Another place worth visiting is Zia, a tiny hilltop village with the best sunset views in Kos. Finally, if you have children, I would say Lido Water Park is worth a trip, just to break up your stay. Our overall impression of the Blue Lagoon Resort was really good. We'd certainly recommend it to others, probably specifically to families or extended families looking to go on a multi-generational trip. It's a great hotel and resort with plenty to do for everyone. That said, this is a big resort, and I was told there were around 2,400 guests there at the time, along with however many additional staff members. So it can feel like you're constantly around people and it's difficult to find quieter places. I guess this could be a plus if you're someone who likes a busy atmosphere, but for me personally, it was slightly overwhelming at times. However, it wasn't so much of a problem while we were there, but was more something we realised when we came back home and weren't constantly surrounded by people. If you have slightly older kids, the rest of the island is great to explore as well and has a whole host of activities and things to do in and around the island. Would we return for another stay? No. But that's because our ethos is to visit and experience as many different places in the world as possible. Kos has now been ticked off our list. Should you stay there though? Absolutely. Thanks for watching, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments section below.